If you're struggling to write your SOP, you need to watch this. An SOP is not difficult to write. It follows the structure of a normal essay. There are 5 steps you need to be aware of. Once you know them, you'll be able to craft your SOP in 15 minutes. Let me walk you through the process. Today, I'm going to talk about what you need to do to write your SOP. ChatGPT is good. It is here to stay. AI is good. It is here to help us. But you need to be intelligent. You need to be smart. You need to know how to use AI ethically to write your essay. But before we go into the AI part, I'm going to talk about the structure of a regular SOP. First of all is introduction. You want to start with a hook that will capture the reader's mind. Tell us a story, tell us your background, tell us something special about you. You can say, I grew up in a small town in Nigeria where we used to walk 10 miles to the river to fetch water. Tell us something very interesting that is peculiar to you. Remember, I said in my previous video, your SOP is called a personal statement. It is personal, it's not generic. So you can't write what every other person is writing. That is why you need to be aware of the structure of an SOP. So even when you want to use ChatGPT, or we have the DeepSeek AI that China has just launched, so even if you want to use any AI tool to help you to write it, you would at least know how to humanize it to look sensible and personal. You can also start your essay with a quote or something compelling for the reader. Like, I'm going to give you 3 examples of what I use in 3 different personal statements that I wrote. One of them, I said, building a career in economics has been my ambition since childhood, as I often found myself wanting to provide solutions to basic problems relating to allocation and judicious management of resources. In another one, in another essay that I used I said, in the final year of my undergraduate degree education, I decided I would have my postgraduate education overseas. This was because I wanted to have a global and dynamic teaching experience, together with an opportunity to meet and relate with multicultural individuals. I wanted a learning experience beyond my locality, blah, 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 blah. So if you see this now, you can see that this is personal. It's not a generic SOP. You would know that ChatGPT cannot write this for you. Another personal statement I wrote, I said, my career goal is to be an accomplished finance professional, specializing in central banking, international markets, and investment analysis. You can see I was very direct. So most SOPs will give you a word count, and that would determine how far or how elaborate or short you have to be. So you make sure you have your introduction, and then you go to your background. What is it about you? What did you study in your undergraduate studies? What did you learn from it? What stood out for you? Give us a little background about yourself. Where did you grow up in? What was your course of study? What did you like best? Just give us something, a little bit background about you, so that the reader can at least get to know you more, even though they cannot see you. For my background, this is what I wrote. I wrote, given my interest and love for economics, I obtained a bachelor's degree in economics in September, blah, blah, blah. And I developed a penchant for financial economics in the course of my study, and I have decided to build a career in finance. You see, everything relates, everything is following a logical sequence. So your SOP must follow a logical sequence. It must start with an introduction, which can be your background, which can be your background story, a little bit about yourself. So after the introduction and the background, you go to your motivation. Why are you applying for admission? What is the purpose of the admission to you? So you need to mention why you. This is where you answer the questions I stated in my previous video. Why you? Why the course? Why the school? Why the lecturer? You need to give us what is motivating you to study. So it could be a lecturer that you just found out that has a research interest that aligns with yours. Talk about the lecturer. Talk about how you review this paper and you like to contribute to whatever field that the professor is interested in. So talk about your motivation for studies. What is motivating you to study? What is it about the school? Is it the location? Is it the caliber of lecturer? Is it the reputation? Is it the locality? Is it the culture of the people in the area? Talk about the school. Talk about why you are a great fit. That takes us to the next step, which is to talk about your achievements. And this is where you have to sell yourself and your value. What are your achievements? Academic excellence is not only an achievement, but it could be a prerequisite to getting the scholarship or admission. That you had a first class is not a reason why you get the admission or scholarship. Some schools are looking beyond academic excellence. They want to see your leadership potential, sell your achievements. What did you do in your undergraduate studies? Were you a member of the student union? Were you a member of a research group? Did you partake in conferences? Did you lead projects that transformed the students in your locality? Did you volunteer in a charity organization? What impact have you contributed to humanity? And this is one of the key areas that most schools are looking out for admission, for scholarship. They want to see your achievements. So you need to tell us, what are you capable of? Are you good at research? Did you write any research paper? Did you co-author any paper with anybody? Have you undertaken projects that have been recognized by United Nations top organizations, your department, your country, your locality, your state? Mention it. Sell your achievement in a clear and compelling manner. Tell us about you. What networking events have you attended? What project have you co-founded? Maybe you started an NGO. Maybe you started a charity organization. What is it about you that we need to invest in? Remember, there are thousands and millions of people applying for the same scholarship or admission, especially if you want to apply to highly competitive schools in the US, Canada, in the UK. You need to sell your achievements, because why should we admit you or give you the scholarship if we don't know you? And this is where you have to tell your story in a compelling manner. In one of my essays, what I did was to talk about my involvement in research, because I was good at research. I co-authored a paper with somebody that was published. I talked about it. I talked about my leadership skills. I was a member of a research group. I was a director of finance. I talked about how I was involved in the budgeting and the finance of the research group, how we were able to carry out different projects with good accountability and good returns. I talked about my involvement in conferences. I talked about my volunteer activities in school. You can, my story might not be your story. So, whatever your story is, please sell your achievements. It is very important. Life is all about impact. So, universities and research groups will be more interested in investing in you if they see that you have a passion to impact the world. And you must have demonstrated that you have contributed to projects that have impacted people in your local community or wherever you've served before. So if you don't have any achievements, try to think about something that you've done that has changed somebody, that has changed, your locality, that has, impacted someone, because you have to have a story to tell, especially if you want to apply for scholarships. You need to be able to talk about the impact that you've made so that we can see you as worth investing in. If you have any sports that you're interested in, or any hobbies, or anything that can make you stand out, because like I said, it's not only about academic excellence. You should also know a little about other things. Maybe you are a writer, maybe you are a creator, maybe you are an influencer. Like, if there's any other thing that is special about you, that is unique about you, you should also put that in your personal statement, so that the academic reviewer or the scholarship board or whoever is reviewing your essay would find something special about you, or will find something unique about you, and would want to invest in you. And finally, your future goals. After you've studied your introduction, you've given us your background, you've given us your motivation, you've told us who you are and your achievements, then what is your future goal? Your future goal has to be clear. Like, if you recall from my initial essay, I talked about um from the I started with my future goal. My career goal is to be an accomplished finance professional specializing in central bank, international markets, and investment analysis. I was very clear. This is what I want to do. So you need to be clear about your future goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Because because most times your master's program or your PhD is a bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. So because you have found that there is a skills gap, there's a knowledge gap, there's a skills gap. That is why you want to go for the master's or the postgraduate studies or the PhD. So if you know that it is a bridge between where you are now and where you want to be, so you want to tell us where you want to be. Because if you don't know where you want to be, why do you want to, why should we give you the admission? Why should we give you the scholarship? So tell us, be clear about your future goals, and tell us how the scholarship or the admission would help you achieve your future goals. You say where you see yourself 5 years from now. I see myself as blah, 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 blah. And this will be because of the skills that I would have been able to gain from this program. So be very clear on your future goals and how the scholarship or admission benefits you and will help you achieve those goals. If there are any constraints that you have, you can also state that in your SOP. Maybe you have financial constraints or whatever can be like a hindrance preventing you from achieving your dreams. Please state that. But emphasize more on the value and the impact that the scholarship or the admission would benefit you than the problem that you're currently facing, so that they would see beyond the problem that you have to the benefits that you want to get. After you've stated your future goals, then the last thing will be to end with a closing remark like, I firmly believe that after undertaking this course or having this scholarship, I would contribute blah 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 to the society. Something just like a summary of everything you've talked about. You need to state that in your closing remark. Or you could also end with your dreams of how you want to impact the education in your society, what you want to do after the course, something that's, you know, that is catchy and compelling. Just end with a very strong closing remark. And this is everything that your essay has to cover. If it covers this, you would likely get the admission or scholarship. Now that you know the structure and everything that your essay has to cover and in the logical sequence, you can now go to Chat GPT or AI. Tell AI who you are. I am so person with this background. My name is no, you don't need to talk about your name. Okay. I am an economics graduate intending to apply for admission into school. Write a compelling personal statement that would make me stand as top candidate for admission. It will give you a structure, but AI doesn't know you very well, right? So that structure that you get, you can now, there are some, there's some applications you can use to paraphrase, get like you can use Gemma, you can use Grammarly, it can help you paraphrase your whatever Chat GPT or DeepSeek or whichever AI tool you want to use gives to you. Paraphrase it, then you can now humanize it. You know your personal experiences more than AI, so infuse that into it. Look at the structure, look at the words. It doesn't look too generic. Make it personal, make it look authentic, because your essay has to be authentic, it has to be original. Because if the examiner or the reviewer um, feels that somebody else has written it for you, then they will take you as not serious. And your SOP is such a big deal. It is your ticket to gaining that admission to your dream school or to your to the scholarship opportunity that you seek. So you have to take it, you have to be very intentional about what you write. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use AI to help you, but you should not solely depend on AI. You need to use your own human wisdom and sense. So sense check whatever the AI gives to you and then infuse your personal experiences into it to make it more human and to make it more personalized so that you can be considered for admission. I forgot to mention this. Some schools will specify what they want you to address in the SOPs. Please address every single point that they give to you, because if you have not addressed it, you've not answered the question, and it may mean that you should not be given admission. So make sure you address every question that was specified in the school's website. Also, pay attention to word count, grammatical errors. You can use Grammarly or any of these tools to check for these errors to make sure it is error free and it is perfect. And if you follow these steps, I think you would be able to write a good and compelling SOP. I hope you found this useful. If you have any thoughts, please put that in the comment section. If you need me to help you or proofread your SOP, please just send me an email and I'll be able to look into that and help you during my free time. Thank you for watching. Bye.